Hello everyone, I'm Professor Geek. Welcome back to the channel together. So I wanted to talk about some superhero art today. And this is something that I've done on my channel actually way back when in the beginning. I even used to have a series in which I would analyze comic book art, cover art and stuff like that. It's different than just opening it up and looking in the middle of it. The cover art, if done well, is actually supposed to be a artistic piece that you can read artistically and symbolically and so forth. So because now that we're doing the film analysis on Tuesday nights as well, you know, there's many things to analyze in a film. You can look at the story, the character progression, the acting, the music, but there's the visuals, you know, too, the composition of the composition of the shot, the mise en scene, you know, is the term for what's on frame. So we'll do that. You know, we do that on Tuesday nights, but I thought, well, you know, I also do that with static art. I love art. I've always loved art history classes and stuff like that, even though that's not specifically what I went to specialize in. It was part of my general humanities, you know, undergraduate degree anyway. So yeah, you might have heard too, a few weeks back, or months back at this point, I guess, there was one of the streams in which I shared an old blog post that I had written about a Steve Rude piece, and I found the book here. I'll show you. This is from Dave Gibbons, World's Finest. Now, Dave Gibbons, many of you will probably know him as the artist for Watchmen. Artist for Watchmen, I think. Yeah, he actually wrote this one, and he did not draw it. The art is amazing. The art is a product of Steve Rude and Carl Kessel. Amazing stuff there. I'm not as crazy impressed with the story. I think Dave Gibbons is an artist primarily, but it's still good and everything. But I talk about this cover because I love this cover. I just think it's perfect. So I'd actually written a blog post about it, and on that stream that I was on a while ago, I actually read through that blog post, but it was conversational. It was just different, so I didn't really read it as something I can cut out and make it its own video. So that's what I wanted to do here. If you will bear with me, I will share that image, and then I want to read through that because this will set the scene too, or the level for the kind of analysis I want to do. So I'm going to read this. This is something I can cut out and make its own video. But then also I want to practice this with you guys on some other comic book covers, things that I've actually done analyses of in the past and whatnot. And we can, if you guys like this kind of thing, we can continue doing this now and then. It can be a new series somewhat. So the blog post is very short, but it's just a little analysis of this, and you can look at the painting there and see the things I'm talking about. I'm dealing with composition here. I'm dealing with what the artist, what Steve Rude decided to put in the frame, and the order of which it's in there. I love this Steve Rude piece that serves as a cover for the Dave Gibbons Steve Rude World's Finest. Superman, confident in the warm and safe sunlight, stands atop an eagle, justice, and sends forth doves, peace. Batman stands at night in front of the artificial rays of the bat signal. It shines in the same manner as the sun that surrounds it on top and bottom. Batman as a hero is a subtle balance which many writers and artists fail to keep, plunging him into the darkness of an almost anti-hero. We've talked a lot about that recently. With the composition of this painting, Rude shows Batman to be carrying on the same work as Superman, only at night and in nighttime forms. For Batman, the Eagle of Justice is a gargoyle, Gothic protector against a superstitious lot. Remember, he said criminals are a cowardly and superstitious lot. That's why he takes on the symbol of the bat to fight crime. His doves are bats, winged creatures able to move in the dark. Batman and Superman aren't so different. Rude shows them to be unified by light, and that's the key theme. This is what unifies each character on each side of the composition. Different as they are, they're unified by the theme of light in this composition. Superman radiates its warmth by example, and you can see just the sun beaming off of him, that warm sunlight. But Batman shines it into the neglected corners of a dark city, and that's the difference between the bat signal. It's like a spotlight, you know, going into the alleys and whatnot. Some of us are more inclined towards Superman. We like the sun and feel led to share its warmth. But others, and even all of us at some time or another, have Batman moments in which we need to confront a darkness that simply won't respond to warmth. In those moments, it's important not to succumb to the darkness we're battling in the absence of the sun. And that's so key to Batman. Batman, and this is what writers never understand, they can't fathom somebody who doesn't succumb to that darkness because they themselves are often so weak psyche-wise, so they just write him such. But no, it's important not to succumb to the darkness we're battling in the absence of the sun. Remember that you're still shining the light, even if sometimes it's a bat signal. So that's just a very short analysis of this composition here. And we don't really go into a lot of technical terms. I didn't even really talk about a compositional triangle or anything like that. I'm just kind of reading the symbols and the composition of the painting to see what Steve Rude is saying about these heroes for us. And that's really the joy of art. And that's something I think is wasted on a lot of comic book readers, because we're so used to the inside art. We're so used to opening it up and reading the story. And inside comic book art can be very, artistically constructed, and it should be to a certain degree, but it's a different beast. It's there to work with the text to tell the story. So it's not really standing on its own and carefully, composed and with the composition and such. So that's the idea there. Let's do an easy one. Yeah, let's do that one. Let me share this. This is one I've actually done before in an old video. Maybe some of you might remember it, but if you don't, that's probably understandable. But this is that old one of the old Darwyn Cooke covers before Darwyn Cooke tragically passed away. That was just so sad to lose him. This was when DC New 52 was still bullheadedly going on under Didio, and it was just dying. Sales were plummeting everywhere. So at the very least, they're like, let's do variant covers. Not only variant covers, but let's bring Darwyn Cooke in, who's all about the classic iconic take on these characters. And let's get him to write covers of these issues, which will in no way even remotely be linked to the tragic, horrid deconstructions within the issues, but made for some great art, made for some great Darwyn Cooke art anyway. So let's look at this painting. And if you want to participate, you can. I'll check the chat here in a second, but shout out some things that you see in the painting that might be symbolic or a little bit cluing us into something that's going on, even more so than the fact that we know obviously this is the janitor room or the back room of the Daily Planet where Clark Kent has just walked in, changed clothes, and he's flown out as Superman, as he does in many stories and stuff like that. So that's fine. But anything else we see composition wise, what are some things that he wanted to put in the shot? What are some things he didn't? And we will kind of read this together as we go through here. So there's always that delay in the chat as well. So let's jump back. Sound Engraver says, can you imagine if they tried to depict Superman and Batman with deconstructionist art? I don't think it would work, would it? I'm sure it's been done. In fact, you might even call Frank Miller's art deconstructionist art. But yeah, it's tragic. Absolutely tragic. Other Melissa says Superman and Batman look so great. They did look great in that. Steve Rude's art's wonderful. Steve Rude has that. It's almost like a Norman Rockwell kind of touch to his paintings, and it's just so great. I love his art. Steve Cruz says this side up box. Yes, okay, good. So we got the this side up box. Great example. Okay, this side up, and it even points. We've got the arrow pointing to Clark Kent's hat, tie, glasses. You might think, that you're going too far, but I think once we finish reading it, you'll see that it's not. This side up, Clark is an upright man. He's the kind of person that stands upright. And we're going to see through this painting, because this painting is more focused on the what Clark has just done more than it's focused on what Superman is doing now. Superman's just outside the window there. We don't really see where he's going. We just see some sort of little colors, and that's kind of how we know that's him flying away. But the focus of the room there is what has Clark just done. And the idea, I think, after we read this, is that you can't have a Superman without a Clark Kent. I think that's the real message of this piece, that Clark Kent is the one to make the sacrifice. Clark Kent is the one to walk upright, this side up. Someone just mentioned, who did? Paladin Demo, janitor, has a motivational poster in our old article. Exactly. Let's look at that janitor. That comes with the this side up. Up to you, the prevention, what does it say? To prevent accidents, So you'll often have those painting or those posters or whatnot in workplaces, to inspire people to be safe or safety first, kind of things like that. But it's up to you. It's up to you. Now he goes into the janitor's closet. First of all, let's just look at that idea of the janitor's closet. We know it's the janitor's So you see the janitor's coveralls there, see the broom and mop and whatnot. But janitor, he's identifying with a janitor there because a janitor cleans up messes. Well, that's what Superman does. He makes things, better. He keeps things safe, even according to that poster. So this side up, it's up to you to prevent accidents, to stop people from being hurt. This is all what Superman does. And again, you have to have Clark Kent before you can have Superman. And take a look at the composition of the scene here. Hopefully, no triangle. It's just something human eyes. We kind of naturally look toward a triangle in art. So you'll see artists use a compositional triangle just to tell our eyes where to naturally flow and where to go to, so it can lead it to what they want us to see in it. So here we have, if you can see my cursor, the triangle. First of all, we see a little triangle in his cape. But the cape is mirrored in the motion of the blinds. So we have this triangle going down from the blinds to the end of this box here, kind of going back. So you see this kind of triangle in the frame here, and it's bisected a little off. It's not quite an equal division, but by the red. We have the red on the can of soda and the red of the tie. There's a division in the piece. This is Superman stuff over here off in the distance. This is where he's going, but everything on the other side of that division is what Clark Kent has just done in that room, what he's left behind, the sacrifice that he makes, going in there, changing clothes, even hanging his clothes up very neatly. I love that little detail, and flying out the window to stop accidents, to keep things safe and whatnot. I just love that. I think that's brilliant. So that's another example of just kind of reading a painting there. Stephen Grew says, I love how he hangs his suit next to the janitor's jumpsuit. It's like he's equal with the janitor. Exactly. Great point. Let's see what else I missed here. The poster in the back says, up to you. Nutters Network got that. Yeah, great. Cool. And Daniel Heron. Okay, sorry about that. Superman, iconic Clark Kent, hat, tie, and glasses. Exactly, Melissa Harris. Iconic. Sound Engraver says, I checked Frank Miller's art. It is frightening for sure. I mean, more the postmodernist style where nothing in the picture can be defined. Oh, yeah. Just have like a black swath of paint and call that Batman. The way people see him. Definitely. See what Crew's talking about that. Frank Miller's art is nasty looking. Thank you. Paladin Demo says the orange soda, possibly the sun connection, bottom of the barrel, scraping here. No, you've got that. Yeah, that is. Let me see if I can. What's written on the can? Hotspot. Yeah. So hey, there you go. You're not scraping the bottom of the barrel. Hotspot. There's a circle. Obviously the sun. Yeah, there's a sun connection. Superman draws his power and strength from the sun, of course. So yeah. Okay, so we did this together. Let's try another one here. This is a Frank Cho variant piece on Wonder Woman before he was unceremoniously fired from the Rebirth title. So here we have this piece. Now, I'm you guys have listened to my videos. I do not like the constant warrior take of Wonder Woman at all. She should be in her iconic costume. I hate that stupid sword unless she's actually going off to fight a mythological monster or something like that. But in this piece, I like the fact that she's arrayed, as it were, for war, with her sword, shield, and kind of the breastplate, more and stuff like that. Because we'll read this piece. First of all, what are the words you see? I mean, what are the words we see literally? Some messages are literally written on this piece. I don't know how well you can see it. There we go. So at the bottom of it, at the bottom we have Amazon, because this is all about what it means for her to be an Amazon, which I love. So that's the message of this piece, is going to be what it means for her to be an Amazon. And then you guys can see what else it says. Let me see if anybody's caught it before I go ahead and give it anyway, because delays and all that kind of stuff. Amazons are warriors, Paladin Nimble. Absolutely. Amazons are warriors and capable of war. And she would be trained in all types of warfare, but her mission primarily, and this is the difference between Marston's Amazons, and this is the big change he made in them, is that they're so advanced, and they've advanced beyond the need for war. They can handle war, and they will war when necessary. But the idea behind Wonder Woman is compassion first. You do not raise your hand to somebody unless you first extended it. Stephen Cruz, seek peace. And Tom Spiegel talking about the lionesses. Yeah, we'll talk about the lions there in a second. But seek peace on one side and then prepare for war. So that's the idea. That's like the Amazon day. You seek peace first, but you be prepared should you need to go to war. Peace is always the first choice. Peace is the first thing you want to go for. peace, but be prepared for war. Okay, good. So we've got the basic message there just by reading the text of it. Does this composition remind you of any other kind of image that you might see in art? Any other usual or common subject matter of art? You've got these two sort of angelic beings, and that's a laurel wreath, crowning a laurel wreath upon Wonder Woman's head. That would have been the crown for Olympic games and stuff like that in the day. So that's where we get the title or the phrase, "Oh, you're just going to rest on your laurels now." That means rest on all the great things you've done and not worry about doing anything else good, that kind of thing. So that's the idea there. Let me see if this can transfer over, and I'll check in with the chat, see if anybody has an answer before I spoil it and answer it for us. Wolf 10 Media says, "I'm getting tired of that design. Give me classic DCAU 1D design or Linda Carter design." Dude, 100% right there with you. Absolutely. Absolutely. But for this piece of art, I think it works to have her arrayed, as though she were out to go fight a chimera or something like that, and I'll explain why as we go through, but 100% with you there. And I always make so many videos talking about that. Yeah, definitely. Artemis and Athena in the Paladin demo says, in the phases of the half moon and full moon. Yeah, exactly. Well, we got the Artemis and Athena, not Artemis, but Aphrodite and Athena. And I'll share why we believe that in a second. Sound of Graver Mercy Seat. Exactly. Yeah. This mercy seat idea, we see in religious art. Specifically, it is, paste this, and then I'll go back and compare the two. Specifically, what we see here, now look at that composition, is the crowning of Mary as Queen of Heaven. This is Velasquez's rendition of that. This is a common subject matter in art. And we've got the idea of the Jesus, the Son, God the Father there. So these two deities, and then you've got the Holy Spirit even in the middle, is the complete Trinity there, and crowning Mary as not as Queen of Heaven, like she's a god now or anything, but as the first among what mankind will be one day. She's got the redeemed body. She's the first one to be in heaven in an assumed manner, as we all will one day. So that's the idea there. But that's a common subject matter we see in art a lot. So again, we go back from that to this, and you can see Frank Cho is obviously playing on this. This is the reference that he's doing. Crowning of Mary's Queen of Heaven. And we have this. So two deities, and as you called it, Paladin Demo, we know Athena's there because of her battle helmet. She is a warrior goddess. But then Aphrodite, I would argue, is the other one, because Wonder Woman is seek peace. Peace would be, you could say Artemis is, hunting and stuff like that, but I think it's more Aphrodite because of love, allure, what Marston wanted to create Wonder Woman for and whatnot. And the dove there, obviously not the Holy Spirit in this context, but the idea of peace as well. So you've got them crowning her as an Amazon, and what it means to be an Amazon is to seek peace and to prepare for war. Love that. And so in that respect, I like the fact that she's arrayed with the shield and the sword, and this is her, and she's even got the cape kind of flowing to the side. We see the compositional triangle there coming down from the dove, and it even in the way she's holding her sword and shield out there, it matches that triangle look. Perfect. You'll often see this is something you'll see a lot in pictures of Adam and Eve. You'll see a skull down by their feet in terms of mortality. You are mortal, so live right, live correctly, and such like that. And there's symmetry. Someone mentioned the lion. So you do have two lions down below, and then the only other animal in the frame is the dove at the top. So again, our triangle. We've got two lions. We've got two deities. We've got a lot of symmetry there going on. So it's just it's so well articulated. And again, just to show you, there's that one and that one. And we even have the stars, because there's that line in Revelation about the woman crowned with stars, who gives birth to the Messiah and such. So that's where he's getting that from. So a cool little artistic thing there. We can keep going. We can keep reading into it more. Let me check with the chat here before we let me zero in on that too, just so people can see some of the details. I realize it's a little smaller on the YouTube that I share it with. Really love Frank Cho's art, even though he can be he said some things in the past that are a little questionable. He's just amazing. You gotta love his art. Really gorgeous there. Love that piece. And then all the way down to the skull, of course, at the bottom. So cool. All right, checking with the chat. Back to the drawing board says, this is very much like a statue of a saint or a stained glass window. Exactly. I don't know if you put that in there before I explained it all, but absolutely. Skulls for the skull throne. not that throne. Not the what was it? Game of Thrones. Yeah. Not that one, but I get what you're going from. Let's check our time. See. Oh, wow. It's 9:54. Oh, man. I had like 3 or 4 more we could do. These are fun. I love this kind of stuff. I really do. But I'm running out of time, and we got the book study at 10. So you guys let me know. Is this even remotely interesting to you? I can geek out about the reading pieces of art, especially about superheroes, forever. I love art, especially when they reference other pieces of art and stuff. This is a hobby of mine. I love it. So I would be very much open to editing together some other videos and making this kind of a series as I can make them, if that's something interesting to you guys. If it's not, if it's just me, then, I can just do this on my own and not put you guys through it. But you guys let me know. Exactly. All right. Sound Engraver says do more art. Cool. I should, this is very interesting, sir. More, please. Thank you, Stephen Cruz. $2. Cool. All right. Well, I will do this. I got at least 2 votes for doing more of it. We will do that. Cool. All right. Nice. RT Bear is here. Hey, RT Bear. I was just bragging about your piece back here that you sent me. I always brag about it whenever I'm on camera. The RT Bear sent me the awesome Superman. I'm gonna brag about it again since you're here. Awesome print by RT Bear, which says, as I'm very proud of, where is it? To a smart geek. So thank you, sir. Yeah. Okay.